All right, good day. Welcome to another day. AT continues this way. That's northbound. We came in from that way last night. That's where we camped. Not the best spot, as I mentioned last night, but it worked. We got our tent set up and we were able to get to sleep. I think I got to bed a little bit earlier last night, but it's not making any difference today. I'm still getting off to a crazy late start. Look at the sun. It is so friggin' high. I feel like the further we get into this hike, the more and more sleep I need every single night. And I just get lazier and lazier in the mornings. Ugh. And just, Riley, this way, come on. Riley, this way. No, that's south, Riley. We're going this way, man. Come on, this way. And I just get up whenever my body says we're ready to get up. And it's getting colder also. I used my liner and my sleeping bag last night, which I've been doing the past several nights. And I was still a little chilly, but I did take all my clothes off as well because I wanted to air everything out and let my skin completely dry. Riley is just protesting so much right now. So I was a little chilly last night, but I was still able to sleep fine. But then, of course, this morning, it doesn't help when I'm when I first wake up, I can definitely feel the chill in the air. And that is not conducive to getting up for me. So I prefer to wait until the sun rises and the temperature rises, and it just feels a little more comfortable. And then I felt really hungry this morning, so I started eating a lot of food. I'm in my typical morning mood where I'm not very energetic. I guess lethargic might be a good word. I got both my Injinji toe liners on this morning, so I don't run into the same problem that I had yesterday, where my toes started feeling uncomfortable. On my right foot, at least. Yeah, so I think I mentioned, but today's, oh my goodness, Riley, oh my goodness, what are you doing? I feel like I ask Riley what he's doing like 200 times every day. He probably wants to pee here. Probably wants to pee. Also, I mentioned a couple days ago that Riley he wants to have his second bowel movement. He already had a first bowel movement. Okay, so just a second here. Yesterday or the day before, I mentioned that Riley had been vomiting. Today's Monday. He vomited 5 times on Thursday, and then he vomited again on Friday morning while we were still in our tent. And then I didn't feed Riley much on Friday because I wanted to let his stomach settle down. I also called the vet that did the quill removal on him on Friday morning to let him know about the issues he was having and ask if there was any connection with the pills that he was taking. And they mentioned that the pills that he took for pain and inflammation reduction are known to cause a side effect of vomiting. And I'd given him the last of those pills on Thursday around noontime. Riley, we need to go. We need to start hiking. We've already gotten a late enough start. Riley, come on, dude. What are you doing? Oh my goodness. Anyway, continuing with the story. It's not really a story, but Riley has not been vomiting ever since. So the last time he vomited was on Friday. So it seems to be the case that it was the pain and inflammation pills that he was taking that was causing the vomiting. He's been doing fine since Friday morning. He's been eating his food fine, and he's been having regular bowel movements and using the bathroom normally, and no vomiting issues. So that's excellent. And I'm still giving him the antibiotic pills. Those last for 10 days, so they should last for a few more days. So that's the update for this morning, day number 102, Monday, August 12th. We're still in the state of New York, starting the day at mile 1426.2, I believe. And I just need Riley to let me hike here, so. Riley's got his ears cocked back like he's waiting for somebody. So, we'll check in later. Alright, so Mr. Riley has allowed us to hike some today. Thank you, Riley. Thank you. The hiking has been fine so far today. Nothing to fear. Although I'm always kind of fearing what's ahead, even though I've done it before. I just know it's all tough. Anyway, we've been hiking through this state park. Riley, I'm back to saying, what are you doing? He's pulling me. Why are you pulling me, Riley? All right, so we've been hiking through this state park, I think, called Clarence Feinstock State Park in New York. And we just got to, and yes, the trails this morning have been mostly nice and level, not rocky at all. And we got to this thing. This looks a little weird. There's a phone there. So this is not an actual working phone. This seems a little interesting, so let me read it. Telephone of the wind. Though I've lost you, I can hear your voice in the silent echoes of your absence. You speak to me through rustling leaves, whistling wind, and bowing branches. Though I've lost you, I feel you here in this shrine of trees in nature's sanctuary. This telephone of the wind is for all who grieve. You are welcome to find solace here. Please use it to connect with those you have lost, to feel the comfort of their memory. May you hear their voices in the wind. May you be at peace with your losses. Words and installation by Millet Israeli, an NYC and Putnam-based grief therapist. About the telephone of the wind. In 2010, garden designer Itaru Sasaki built a telephone booth in his garden just outside Otsuchi, Japan. It housed an unconnected rotary phone on which he could talk with his late beloved cousin. After the 2011 tsunami hit Otsuchi and a tenth of its population was killed, the telephone of the wind, or Kazuno Denwa, aha, yes, Denwa is phone in Japanese, and I guess Kazuno means wind, maybe, became a place of comfort for thousands of visitors. This telephone of the wind honors that original. Very good. The telephone of the wind. Come on, Riley. Come on, buddy. Mr. Riley, what do you think of the view? What a not so gorgeous day today it is. Got clouds overhead. It was lightly sprinkling earlier, and I actually got put my rain jacket on and put Riley's rain jacket on, but it's since stopped. but it could start at any time again, I suppose. Got some blue sky over there. So this right here is the Canopus Lake. That so many things around here are named after. We walked over Canopus Hill yesterday, and there's a road, and this is Canopus Lake, and there's a beach over there, and there's a lot of people down there. And they actually built, we passed a side trail that we could have taken to go down there, but we have no need to go down there. They actually built a hiker shelter down there somewhere along the beach that people can stay at overnight for free. And had Riley and I been further along yesterday, I would have considered going down there and staying at the shelter. There's not many spots for tenting that I've seen on the trail. Not many good spots. This way, Riley. So, continuing on. Mr. Riley, I seem to only be taking pictures of the views today. Riley, hey buddy. Riley. I gave Riley a good amount of water earlier, but he's still thirsty. So, okay. I'll let him drink out of that puddle. USA in memory of September 11th. American flag. So I remember when I was near the New Jersey-New York border, I had it in my mind that there was a American flag painted on the rocks, and I didn't see it. And then I saw like an actual American flag, which was located, I believe, at Prospect Rock, which is the highest elevation on the AT in New York. Maybe even the highest elevation in New York overall. And so then I was like, well, maybe I confused the flag painting on the rock for an actual American flag. But no, I just didn't remember where it was. So it's further on in New York. That's the American flag that I remember. It's a 9/11 memorial. USA. Cool. And a very nice view here. All right, Riley, come on, buddy. Let's get out of the sunlight, man. We're also a few miles away from a cool shelter called RPH Shelter. It stands for Ralph's Peak Hiker Shelter, or Ralph's Peak Hiker Cabin. I'm not sure how it got its name, but it goes by RPH Shelter. It's right on the trail. It's too early in the day for Riley and I to stop there, but if it were later in the day and we were ready to stop, it would be a nice place to stop. From what I remember in my 2018 hike, it's got like a badminton, like a nice field outside the shelter where people were playing badminton, and you could probably play volleyball as well. And I don't think it has a caretaker, but I remember it had like a little stand with books, and it's very close to a road, which I guess is a good thing and a bad thing. Bad because you can hear traffic, I guess, at night, and there's also just more potential for other like non-hikers coming in and disturbing stuff. But at the same time, I guess it makes it easier for people to take care of it, add nice things to it, that kind of stuff. So when we get there, I'll try to show it. It's not like a Ritz-Carlton or anything. It's just a shelter, though. And the day has suddenly turned on a dime. We got blue skies again. Just like an hour ago, we had all cloudy skies, but The clouds have kind of dissipated. The sun has won out. Aha, thank you, Mr. AT. They give us a nice little blaze there to indicate which way to go. Sometimes they don't do that. I'm sorry, Riley. The leash is getting caught on the branches. Oh, buddy, there we go. Phew. Riley, hold up. Riley, hold up. Riley, hold up. All right, so yeah. Turning into a nice day. At the same time, the temperature is rising. I'm feeling the heat. It's probably like around 3 o'clock or so. I checked my phone a while ago, and it was 1:26, and we had done 2.9 miles at that point. So that means we left around like 12 or a little bit before 12. So I was thinking actually it might be nice to stay in a shelter one of these couple nights. Or maybe just more frequently stay in a shelter, so that I can save all the time of having to set up the tent and then take down the tent in the morning. Oh, and the other thing, when we left the Appalachian Trail market yesterday, after I had my ice cream, I decided to take everything in my bag that I was carrying and put it in my pack, and it feels fine. My pack is at a good weight now, so I've been able to avoid needing to carry that extra bag, and I'm just carrying my trekking poles now. So that makes it a lot easier in terms of just freeing up my hands to help with stuff. So that's good. Yep, like I said, it's getting hot, so Riley's like panting right now. And I think he's gonna pop down here. Somebody's excited. So we're on the trail here, and this is RPH shelter right here. Pretty cool shelter. It's fully enclosed, and Riley wants to go in, so we're gonna check it out. Mr. Riley. All right, so I just met a few of the other hikers that were here. There's a guy named Splinter and Shredder, and then a girl named Blade Runner. They're all hiking together, so I just chatted with them briefly. They're all tenting here. But yeah, this is the inside of the shelter. It's actually not fully enclosed. This part's open, but yeah, there's like a bunk room. They have a little library there. They actually have a Harry Potter book, which looks interesting. But I already have my Born Supremacy book that I'm reading. Riley, oh, I know. So we're gonna continue on now. Riley, hold up, buddy. Hello, Van Gogh here, and Mr. Riley. It's being awesome hiking along behind me, and we're making progress on the day number 102, Monday, August 12th. When we left, I just stopped. I felt a yank, and he's like, I gotta pee. Good job, Riley. So actually, when we, a little after we got to the shelter, and the RPH shelter, and I was talking to the 3 southbounders that were there. Normally I don't check the time, like on my own, until like I'm starting to wonder where we're gonna camp tonight. But one of the hikers there had a watch on, and he was curious where I was going tonight, and he did inform me of the time, and I remember he said it was like 5:12 or something, just shortly after 5 p.m. basically. And when we got there, I think we had done maybe a little over 8 miles on the day. And we have obviously continued on since then. There's another road crossing, I think called Stormville Road. That's about 5 miles from the shelter. So we should be getting there. I think we'll definitely get there tonight. I don't see why we wouldn't get there. And then at that road crossing, there's actually a about 4/10 or 5/10 of a mile down the road, there is a pizza place, and I think there's a deli next door to the pizza place, and I think they offer tenting. Like, I think they allow hikers to tent behind the building, and I took advantage of that in 2018. I went to the deli and I tented behind the deli, and I was able to get some dinner and then breakfast the next morning. And I remember I also ate a full carton of ice cream, as I am prone to do. But it's a very tempting thought to go back there, but I don't really want to get off trail. I don't really want to hike 4/10 of a mile and then back. Obviously, I'll see what time it is and how much light we have when we get there. But I'm inclined to continue on. And there is a shelter. I think it's like Morgantown Shelter or Morgan something shelter. Maybe just Morgan Shelter. A little over 3 miles from that road crossing. So I'm inclined to continue on and try to make it to the shelter. And if it's becoming too onerous, then if we see a campsite, then we can always stop at a campsite. Anyway, so those are my thoughts as of now. It's obviously after 5 p.m. I'm guessing it's maybe close to 7 p.m. now. And I'm not sure if it's easily hearable on the video, but there's a lot of traffic sounds that we're hearing. Shortly after we passed the shelter, we went under a bridge that was connected to, I think it's called the Taconic Highway or the Taconic Parkway, some big road in New York. And I'm guessing that's where all the traffic sounds that I'm hearing are coming from. We've been hearing it ever since pretty much we left the shelter and we got close to that road. Seems like the AT is just kind of paralleling the highway. So we're consistently hearing the traffic noise. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't annoy me at all, but it's just a contrast to earlier in the hike when you hardly ever heard traffic noise unless you were like approaching a town. So hearing the traffic noise was it meant you were getting close to a town, which was very exciting, and it was a kind of a pleasant noise. But now it's just, we're not getting close to a town. Even if we were getting close to a town, we're under pressure and we can't stay very long and we got to keep hiking. I mean, like we're not getting close to a town, but we are getting close to this road, which has easy access to a pizza place. And earlier in the hike, I probably definitely would have gone to get some pizza, but I figure we're going to be getting to Kent, Connecticut in either 2 or 3 days, probably on Thursday morning, I'm guessing. That's kind of what I'm targeting right now. And we have an 8/10 of a mile road walk to get to Kent, and then whatever walking we do while we're in town. And I'd like to minimize our off-trail walking. So if we're going to be already kind of doing a lot of off-trail walking when we get to Kent, then I feel like that's enough for this part of the hike, and we don't need to do the 0.4 back and forth to get to this pizza place tonight. And Kent has a grocery store, and it has several breakfast places, and apparently it has a really nice Chinese place as well called Shanghai Chinese. I've seen many positive comments on the Far Out app regarding the Chinese place. But if we get there in the morning, the Chinese place would be closed most likely. So that looks like a view there, Riley. Guess we can come out and check it out. Anyway, my point being that we'll be able to fill up on whatever food we our hearts desire, our stomachs desire, in a couple days. And I also have plenty of food in my pack right now, so we can eat well tonight from the food I have in my pack, and that'll just continue to get my pack lighter for tomorrow. That is kind of a nice view. It's just like a well-maintained grass there with some kind of structure. I don't have very good vision. I don't have my glasses on, so it's kind of a small structure. Anyway, Riley, shall we continue, sir? Do you have anything you want to add, Riley? Riley? I guess not. So I have my light shined on this behemoth of a tree, but I don't think it is visible, unfortunately, in the camera. Okay, slightly visible. Is this visible? Look how big this tree is. Riley, get in the picture, buddy. That's Riley. That's the tree. There's a white blaze. That's a white blaze on a regular tree. And this is a behemoth of a tree. We're actually getting close to the largest oak tree on the entire AT, called Dover Oak. But this is not Dover Oak. This is just another big friggin' tree. All right, so that's that. Sorry to blind you, Riley. Hold up, buddy. So quick update. We passed the road crossing that leads into that pizza place that I mentioned earlier. We've gone probably a little less than a mile past the road crossing, and there's about 3 miles, a little over 3 miles to the shelter. It's called Morgan Stewart Shelter, and we passed a stream a short while ago. I was able to fill up on water there, so that's good, because there's no water at the shelter and there's no water sources between here and the shelter, although there could be potentially a water cache at some of the road crossings that we cross. Riley is sniffing on the bridge, and it is getting close to 9 o'clock. We got water about 8:30, and it was already dark then, and that's when I got my headlamp out, and I'm using my headlamp now. And I think if we need to hike all the way to the shelter, then we will be able to do that. But at the same time, if I see a campsite, then I think I might just take the campsite.
Alright, hello again. Riley and I are in our tent now. It is 10:30 at night. We got to the campsite probably about an hour ago, and I spent some time setting up my tent, and then we got in our tent and I was just looking at stuff on Far Out for a little bit, so I should get to bed soon. But yeah, we're 2.1 miles south of the shelter right now. I did not find like a standard campsite. This has kind of been the standard for us the past several nights, it seems, that we've camped at non-standard campsites, and that's just because there aren't many standard campsites. So I'll show it tomorrow in the morning, but basically we got to a section of trail and there was just this open area with lots of leaves, kind of in a depression area where the ground was lower than where the trail was, but no plants. Like in most of the places on the side of the trail, there's lots of plants which would prevent you from setting up a tent very easily, but there's no plants here. It's mostly just leaves and some pieces of branches which I can easily move around to get a nice flat spot. So yeah, I was able to set the tent up pretty easily. The ground was real soft, so I was able to get the stakes into the ground very easily, and we're the only ones here. I mean, we're generally the only ones at our campsites, and there's just not that many other hikers around. We're actually seeing a lot more Sobo hikers now than Nobo hikers, because most of the Nobo hikers are ahead of us. There is some road noise still from nearby roads, but it's not gonna bother us, as long as the cars don't run us over, and there's no chance that they're gonna get that far off the road to where we are. So we should have a good night tonight. We are at mile 1441.4 currently. So we hiked 15.2 miles on the day. We started the day at 1426.2. So this is our first day over 15 miles. I'm not sure how long, but in a while. And we got off to a pretty late start today. So the only reason we were able to do 15 miles, which is bigger than what we've been doing for a while, is just because the trail was very pleasant. There wasn't anything super hard about the hike today. I mean, we did have, we had the standard climbs up and down, and there were some rocky stretches, but not very many rocky stretches. Much of the trail was packed dirt and easy to walk on, and that makes it a lot easier. Even when you have to do uphill, like as long as it's not too rocky, that makes a big difference. So yeah, like this stretch of the trail is, I was thinking today that the state of New York, it started out really hard, but as the section that we're in currently is much easier. Like the hard part where it started out was where there were just lots of rock slabs, and it was made rock slabs that were angled and yeah, just not flat. And we were doing it last week when it was very rainy due to Hurricane Debbie, I believe. And so there were just many opportunities to slip and fall, and not just rock slabs. There were also just many climbs where it wasn't just like hiking up a mountain. It was using your feet and your hands and climbing up. So that was a lot of the first part of New York, but that's kind of gone away for the most part in the recent stretches. So I was thinking that New York is kind of like the month of March. There's that saying that March comes in like a lion and goes out like a lamb, and that it's usually very cold at the beginning of March, and then it warms up near the end of March. So that seems kind of true of New York. It seems very, or at least for this hike, combined with the weather, it was very challenging. First part of New York, and then it's much easier, at least for the current stretch, and hopefully it will stay that way for the next few days as we get through the end of New York. Riley is sleeping right now by my legs. The temperature today, it actually, I showed this on the video earlier. It was kind of, all of a sudden it got cloudy, and then it started, sorry, I was just yawning. It started sprinkling, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, is it gonna rain again? Like, it rained like so much last week, and then I was like, it just seems too soon for it to rain again. But fortunately it didn't rain heavily, and shortly after the skies cleared and it got sunny out again, and then it got kind of warm, but it didn't last long. Like, the temperature got pretty mild even before we got into the evening time. So it was pretty comfortable hiking weather. And now it's just, you can really feel the chill in the air. It's not like winter cold, but it's definitely not a warm summer's evening. So I put Riley's jacket on to keep him warm tonight. And I haven't done that in previous nights, although he probably could have used it, but his jacket was still drying out from just being so damp last week that I figured it wouldn't be comfortable for him to wear a damp jacket, but it's dried out now, and hopefully it'll keep him warm tonight. Yeah, so I said we're 2.1 miles south of that shelter that I was thinking we might go to, but I don't like hiking in the dark, and we had already hiked enough, and I was just ready to stop. So that's why we stopped where we did. If I hadn't seen this campsite, then we would have just kept going and gotten to the shelter if we needed to, but I was ready to stop, and it was nice that we got some good land to camp on. And we ended up hiking 1.8 miles after that road crossing New York 52, where that pizza and deli are located. What else, Riley? What am I forgetting? Yes, we are also, I checked how far we are to Kent. We're about 31.8 miles from Kent, Connecticut. So, and part of the reason I'm mentioning Kent, I guess, is number one, there's a shoe outfitter, shoe store called Sundog Shoe that I'm planning to go to buy a new pair of shoes. I was really noticing that I needed new shoes last week when we were on those slippery rocks. Now that we're off the slippery rocks, my shoes are, they're working fine, but they are definitely starting to deteriorate. So I think a new pair of shoes will be good. I've been wearing the current pair of shoes since Harper's Ferry, so it's got about 400 and, well, I guess by the time we get to Kent, they'll have about 450 miles on them. And generally, hiking shoes are supposed to last about 500 miles if you're hiking in them every day. So these shoes are lasting a little bit less than that, but this, at the same time, I hiked through, used these for all of Pennsylvania, and I think the rocks in Pennsylvania took a toll on them. What else, Riley? Yeah, so, oh, and the other thing about Kent is, since my mom is helping with uploading the YouTube videos, she sent the SD memory card. So I have two memory cards. I have one that I'm currently using and one that I was using previously. And I had given her the older one for her to, so that she could upload the videos from that memory card. And she's finished with that, so she sent that to the post office in Kent. And I'm going to pick that up, and then I'm going to mail my current memory card, which is currently in my GoPro, back to her so she can help with uploading those videos. And then I'll have the memory card that she sent me, which should be arriving in Kent any day now. I'll have that to continue recording our daily adventures. So that's really the main purpose for getting to Kent, is to be able to receive the free memory card that has space on it, and also mail my current memory card to back home, so that the videos on my current card can get uploaded. So that might be too much information for people that are watching this, but it's part of the logistics of doing the hike and taking videos along with it. And then the additional benefit is that I should be able to get new shoes. And then I also should be ready for a resupply, so we can stop by the grocery store in town to pick up some more dog food and whatever food I want. And while we're there, I think there's a good breakfast spot called the Villager, which certainly might be nice to get a good breakfast there. So yeah, 31 miles from Kent. I think it's reasonable to try to target to get there on Thursday morning. So we'll see. I should be getting to bed soon, and I should make it a goal to get up early tomorrow. I know I say that almost every day, and I never do. So, but one of these days, I really need to make that happen. So, hopefully tomorrow I'll do better than today in terms of getting up early. All right, so with that, I will say goodnight, and we will check in tomorrow. Hope everyone is doing well as well. Okay, bye for now.